In the icy void of Antarctica, horror fans once witnessed a nightmare unfold. A creature of unknown origin, capable of perfect mimicry, dismantling humanity one cell at a time. John Carpenter's The Thing wasn't just a sci-fi thriller. It was a masterclass in paranoia and practical effects. Grotesque, innovative, and entirely real. But in 2011, when Hollywood returned to that frozen wasteland, something was different. The monsters were back, but the magic was gone. Today, we're looking back at lost horror media and the lost cut of 2011's The Thing, the cult classic that was filmed, but we never got to see. Welcome back to Lost Horror Media. This is Dave from Nerdbox, and before we begin, don't forget to drop a like on this video, drop a comment, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. Let's dive into things.
Nancy?
You don't want to die of...
On the inside.
Or simply rip his head off.
Special effects artist Rob Bottin was only 22 when he created some of the most iconic creature effects in horror history. Twisted limbs, dripping appendages, and impossible anatomies. The Thing became a showcase for what practical effects could achieve. The kind of art that was tactile, terrifying, and real.
Apocalyptic movie. This is the first of three films that I've worked on that have an apocalyptic theme, and I've dealt with them in different ways. This is the end of the world. It doesn't come from bombs dropping. It comes from within. And it was a movie that's tone started and finished. And then basically it was almost there's nothing you can do, because here it comes. And of course the Thing is a metaphor for whatever you want to say. It's disease, could be AIDS, could be whatever, but it comes from within you. It's also basically the lack of trust that's in the world now. We see it all over. Countries, people. We don't trust each other anymore. We don't know who to trust.
The Thing was about a group of American researchers stationed in Antarctica, encountering a shape-shifting alien organism that could perfectly mimic any living being it assimilates. When a dog from a nearby Norwegian base arrives at their outpost, it unleashes a terrifying chain of paranoia, mistrust, and body horror. As the team begins to suspect that anyone or everyone could be the Thing in disguise, tensions rise, alliances crack, and survival becomes a matter of outsmarting an enemy that wears a familiar face. When John Carpenter's The Thing hit theaters on June 25th, 1982, it underperformed, grossing about around $19.6 million domestically against a $15 million budget. And while it technically made its money back, that number didn't account for the marketing and distribution costs. So it was widely seen as a financial disappointment. The film released just 2 weeks after E.T., which had people swooning over a lovable alien. The critics were brutal to The Thing. Some called it disgusting and depressing, and while Bottin's creature effects are legendary now, in 1982 they were considered too grotesque and off-putting. Thanks to physical media, and over the course of the next 10 years, critics and fans started praising the tight script, the tense atmosphere, and practical effects. The Thing found its audience and became a cult classic, and it's now seen as a masterclass in paranoia minimalism. Now, despite its influence and growing popularity, a follow-up of the film wasn't announced until 2010, and it had one mission: to honor the legacy. Directed by Matthias van Hingen Jr., the prequel follows the Norwegian research team in Antarctica who discovers a buried alien spacecraft and a creature frozen in the ice. After extracting the body, they bring it back to their outpost for study, but the alien thaws out. And if you know the events of the previous film, then you know how things are going to play out in this film.
Faen ikke mulig. Start det jævla helikopteret nå! Nå!
With it being a follow-up to a cinematic masterpiece, the one thing that this film had to get right was the special effects. Alec Gillis and Todd Woodruff Jr., the duo behind Alien Resurrection, Tremors, and Death Becomes Her, were tasked with creating the monsters for The Thing 2011. Under ADI Studios, they built a full-size animatronic beast using foam latex, servo, and buckets of slime. They didn't just want to replicate Botlin's work, they wanted to evolve it. And they did. Every creature was designed to transform, twitch, and terrify without a single pixel of CGI. But they never stood a chance, and their work would soon be lost to fans forever. ADI moved forward with their vision of a twisted fusion of human and alien biology, which old-school horror fans would have loved. It was shaping up to be a true spiritual sequel. Universal executives reportedly got cold feet late in post-production. They feared that the audiences conditioned by modern-day blockbusters at the time would see the practical effects as cheap or outdated. Have they seen some of the films back then? Even then, the CGI wasn't that good. They ordered the practical creatures covered in digital overlayers. Entire animatronic scenes were removed, and in some cases, the monsters were rebuilt from scratch in CGI, which meant that they threw away most of the handcrafted creature work and slathered it with 2011 era CGI, which looked flatter, glossier, and way less tactile. What had been built to honor John Carpenter's masterpiece had been erased by commercial caution. The final film was visually inconsistent, with CGI creatures that lacked the weight and realism of the original film. Critics and the fan base both noticed. Film underperformed financially and left a lot of viewers cold, pun intended, grossing only $31.5 million worldwide on a budget of $38 million. That's right, folks, they went backwards with this film. If we were to adjust the original film's box office and budget for inflation in 2011, John Carpenter's The Thing, $19.6 million box office in 1982, is equivalent to approximately $81.75 million in 2011 on a $34 million budget. The film not only failed to meet its own budget, but it failed to meet the original film's budget as well. And what was billed as a practical special effects throwback became yet another case of studio interference. ADI was devastated, and before the movements began in recent memory to release the original cuts, The Thing prequel, in its original entirety, was gone. And while the film in its original entirety may have been lost, ADI didn't let their work just vanish. They released a wealth of footage online. Test shots, behind the scenes reels, animatronic sequences showing fans what could have been. You see these creatures breathe, scream, split apart, and you feel the craftsmanship in every moment. But still no director's cut. No physical media edition of this film exists with its original practical effects reinstated. For now, the only way that this exists is in fragments, a beautiful horror film that we will never get to see. ADI wasn't done fighting. In 2015, they crowdfunded Harbinger Down, a spiritual successor to The Thing. made entirely with practical effects. It was their protest, their proof that the medium still had power. The movie, it flew under the radar, but for horror purists, it became a cult gem. A reminder that tactile and slimy and handmade still has a place in the genre. The 2011 Thing prequel is a cautionary tale, a film torn between honoring its roots and chasing trends. In the process, it silenced the artists who were trying to keep the fire alive. But lost horror can sometimes be found on reels in storage, online, and in the hearts of fans that know what could have been. Now, what do you think about the 2011 The Thing? There is a lot of hate that this film had back in 2011, and it's slowly garnered some support over the years and amassed a cult following, a very small one, but it is out there. But I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I am very interested in going out and checking out that film after doing my research on this video and in season 1 where we talked about the book and the lost chapters that were recently discovered for The Thing. So let me know if you've seen it, what's your thoughts on the original one. Also, my god, studios and their fucking interference destroying films. All right, it seems like we're talking about this every single year of what could have been if the studios mind their damn business. Remember, the creative people need to create, the people with the money just need to let them do what they need to do. So let me know what you think. Drop it in the comments below. Drop a like on this video. Every like helps. Also, stay tuned for some news coming out about the Stream board game. Got some art samples going. Looks pretty damn good. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Remember, hit the notification button. We'll be there in your subscription feed. You can watch us anytime. And then, don't forget, stop by on Sundays, 7:30 Eastern Time to check out the Howling Hour, where we discuss lots of different things, and we do rankings. So, until the next Lost Horror Media, see ya.
Bye-bye.